Hey everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton, and we are here again to finish up or keep going on the book. Here it is, right here. This is the book. This is Plan Your Greatness, or I'm sorry, this is How to Plan Your Greatness. And this book is on Amazon along with the original, which is Plan Your Greatness, as you can see. Nice little cover. See, got my name upside down. Oh, you see my name right there? There's the back, tells you a little bit about the book. It's a good little read. This is the original. This was like the first draft that we put on there. And then what I did was I went back and added some more stories, put a little cover that actually kind of tells you a little bit of the story. As you can see right there, there's my prison ID. There's an article that was when I was done with baseball. They found me and said, hey, where did he go? Where did this top draft pick go? And then there's the article that was kind of launching, putting everybody on notice that, hey, this kid is coming along. There's the championship ring from my season. It was fun. There's one of my favorite watches. My glasses, I do wear glasses. That ball right there, you can't see the whole thing. That ball is the first ball that I used in professional baseball. Actually, the first win that I got. There's my degree from Arizona State University. And so there's my passport. But this book tells the story. And so there's some updated stuff in here. It's a really good read. All right, now while you're on there, on Amazon, you can look and find this one. See, this is a super thin one. I don't even know if they don't even have the name on the side of it. But this was just like the just kind of promo book. As you said, not for sale, but if you get it, it won't say that. But this is Fair Exchange, Conversation with an Uber Driver. This is almost 400 interviews that I did with clients and customers through my transportation company. I had this theory about success. And so I wanted to put that theory as a form of an interview with my customers. So I'm driving people all over the valley. So my customers, I typically had a long drive to get them to their destination. But because my cars were on the Uber platform, I also would gauge, okay, if I had at least 10 minutes to talk to a customer, I could get through all 4 questions. But if I had a long drive, then those were the better conversations that I was able to get through the questions, and I was able to get some good feedback. So that is a really good book because I had a theory, I put it to the test, I got some feedback, so it's a good book. But let's get to what we're here talking about. We are on volume 11, chapter 5 of the book. And this is, the book chapter, it says, right there it says, Until It Happens to You. Now actually, when I did that, I know I was probably thinking of a song called Until It Happens to You by Corinne Ray Bailey. If you've never heard her beautiful voice, if you know who she is, you know what song that is. Until It Happens to You. Phenomenal voice. And she's fine too. So it's good to listen to her. I think she's from Britain or whatever, so you could hear a little bit of accent. But it says, Until it happens to you, what would you do? Now, this chapter talks specifically about us competing, and I'm going to talk a little bit later in this video about the American dream, because that's really what this chapter is talking about. And I wasn't thinking of it when I was writing that chapter, but now that I've had a chance to review the book as I'm going over it, and I made a couple of videos. If you want to hear my thought process on the American dream, is it dead? Is it not dead? How should we be looking at the American dream? I believe that's a new way to look at it, and I lay out this formula as far as for success where the American dream works. I believe it works, but there's a way you have to look at it and a way you have to approach it. You can't approach it bitching and moaning and whining, which is what I'm seeing a lot on social media. But in this chapter, I ask you a question. I kind of walk you through a normal person's regular day. I go, okay, you wake up, you're brushing your teeth, you're getting ready, you're putting on your best suit if you're going into an office, or you're just getting prepared for the day. Most people have a little commute. They're driving in. And just imagine, this isn't COVID. You don't work from home. You go into an office every day. So just imagine this scenario. You get to the office and you see this person in the lobby, just sitting there. I mean, dressed, nice suit on, nice shoes on, briefcase, smile on his face, well-groomed, haircut. I mean, everything is popping. You see that dude there. Nah, you don't think anything of him. It's Monday. Ah, who's that guy? Oh, he's maybe interviewing for a job. And then you go home, you still see him there at the end of the day. You're like, dang, that dude's still here. Did he leave? Did he go? Did he take a break? You know, what's going on? You come back the next day, Tuesday. That dude is still there. You like, man, what is going on? That dude's been there the whole week. In there when you get to work, he leave, you know, so you're leaving out, then all of a sudden you see him leaving out. 3 weeks, this dude is there. So finally, you go in and ask your boss. You go, hey, I noticed this dude has been in the lobby, dressed immaculately, smile on his face, well-groomed, shoes, briefcase. He's sitting there maybe on his phone. But boss, I seen this dude up in there for 3 weeks. Hey, what's up with that? And your boss clears his throat and just kind of smirks at you and go, oh, he's here to replace you. And you like, what? He go, yeah, he's here to replace you. So let's just say you come to work and you're not up to par. You're not at your A game. Oh, he's here to replace you. I could go get him, put him in your position, replace you. Okay, let's say you're here, but you're not doing your thing and he's ready to replace you, along with replacing anybody else. Okay? So now you start to think. Then your boss keeps going on further. He said, yeah, say you're driving into work and all of a sudden an accident. I need someone to fill in. He's ready to replace you. And God forbid you're on your way to work and an accident happens. You get killed. Oh, he's ready to fill in for you. We got him on deck. And so now you're saying to yourself, what the heck is going on? So now you go to your desk and now your whole mind is spinning. You're like, man, what is going on? They got this dude in there sitting in the lobby like a relief pitcher. So you got a little bit more pep in your step. You getting on top of your thing because you like, man, they got that guy down there. Man, shoot. Now at the end of the day, you walk down the lobby. Now you look at that dude completely different. You like, so that dude here is ready to replace me. So now I want you to think of that scenario that you actually walk into your job and you see somebody in the lobby and you know for a fact that person is sitting there waiting to replace an unproductive employee. Now, how are you going to then approach your day, your productivity, your breaks? You know, how are you going to approach that? Is it going to change? Because now you know somebody is on deck waiting for anything. You get up in the morning. You ain't going to be driving all crazy in the morning. You might, if there's something you're working on, you're going to try to do it to your best of your ability. I would hope so. Okay? So now, let's unpack that scenario from both sides. Let's unpack that scenario from the employee side. And my data that I'm going to give you is unscientific, but these are the things that I've noticed in my experience in corporate America. All right? So let's look at it from two sides. Let's first and foremost look at it from the side of that guy in the lobby. Remember I said he was there for 3 weeks, smile on his face, ready to go. How many of y'all would be willing to put yourself in a position to where nothing is guaranteed, but you ready on deck? Now I over exaggerate of just saying him sitting in the lobby, but there are plenty of people out there that are prepared to take your job if you're not doing it up to par. Now I'll give you a little story. I asked my dad, and I believe I have this in the book somewhere, but I remember one day my dad came home from work, tired, ate, and took a bath, did his little normal routine, and boom, he was gone off to bed. And I asked my mom, I was like, why daddy just didn't hang out with us, do anything, went straight to bed. My mom said, your dad was sick. And so now I'm scratching my head. Wait a minute. He went to work. So I'm like, sick? Because I'm thinking of me. I only missed a few days of school. And I think one of those days, I think one of them, I was faking it. The other two, I think maybe I was injured or something happened. And the other one, I was actually sick. So I was looking at, hey, you don't miss work unless you are sick. But he went to work. So I remember that was always on my mind. And one particular day, my dad was leaving out to go somewhere. And typically he doesn't, get out of here. No, you can't go with me. That particular day, he let me go with him and he let me sit up in the front seat. Golden. So I then asked, I said, hey, Dad, Mom said that you went to work, but you weren't feeling your best. And I remember my dad kind of rubbing his chin, driving. And he said, you know what? He said, every time I come in to work, I have to, now think about this. This wasn't the time when I was asking that question, because I swear I was probably about 10. So this was in the 70s. I'm sure he was referring back to like when he first started in the 60s, where people were begging for those jobs at Ford Motor Company. My dad was only out of the military about 3 weeks before he got that job. July 19, 1965 was my dad's first day of hire. So I'm assuming during that first 5 or 6 years of him being hired, he was so grateful that he had that job. And so this is what he's telling me. He said, every day that I walked into work, there were guys lined up outside waiting for an opportunity to get into that plant. He said, I had a duty and an obligation to get up and go to work first and foremost for you guys, for your mom and for you to feed that family. He said, but secondarily, I wasn't giving them dudes an opportunity. I was showing up. I was showing up early, and I was giving a full day's work. He said, because those dudes were willing to work a full day plus overtime for half of what I was getting paid. So he was expressing to me, he said, I have an obligation to make sure that I bust my ass at this job. I give it my best effort because somebody else is waiting to do my job and they would gladly take half the pay. So all that stuff is swirled around in my head. Not really as I was writing the book, but it was just a reminder, I think, as I told that story. But this chapter, that's the perspective of that individual that was in the lobby. He was just waiting for his opportunity. Now, let's juxtapose that to the employees. And this is what I've seen in corporate America. 98% of the people, 2% of those people that would have gotten that challenge would have quit immediately. They'd be like, oh, I don't even want to compete. I'm out. Let them have it. I don't even want to take the opportunity to compete. And my unscientific data says 2% of the people were. Now, here's the real kicker of this unscientific data. That other 98%, there is a huge percentage of that, and I would say 98% of the remaining 98% would do what they call quiet quitting. They would start showing up on late. They would start fussing about other employees. They would be just unprofessional, not dressed. They would take 6 days. They would just bring in their political views. They would do all these things that the naked eye couldn't tell that they were quiet quitting. You see what I'm saying? This is who we are competing against. This is the people. Because I had a friend. Not a friend of mine. This was a guy that I followed online. He said, if you just show up on time with a plan, with a good attitude, man, you'll mop the floor with everybody, because not everybody is looking around, looking for opportunities to compete or willing to be challenged. So this is who we're dealing with. So this chapter talks about that 2%, they're gone. The remaining 98%, 98%. So 2% of that 98% are saying, let's bring it on. Hey, I'm gonna take the challenge. I'm gonna be better either way. I'm either gonna show that I can whoop you, or if you whoop me, you're gonna whoop me fair and square, but I'm gonna be better. And if I have to move on, I'm gonna move on as a better person, a better employee. Now, I find that interesting is because now this goes back into what I was talking about, how the book comes to life now as far as individuals complaining about the American dream. They do not want to compete. They complain. They get on social media talking about opportunities aren't here. When I know that if I were to ask them specifically, I would say, what skill set do you have? If you have a high level skill, are you marketing it? Other than that, you're probably somebody that fits right in the category of that. You could be working at Walmart, you could be working in a factory. You don't have any very specific skills. So now your pay is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Your pay is going to be right along with the ability of them being able to replace you. Engineers, you can't replace them very easily. High-level computer guys, you can't replace them. If you're a heavy crane operator, you have a skill, a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber, an HVAC operator, a repair person for motorcycles, for cars, for heavy crane. You can't just replace them people like that. But if you don't have any skills, you're barely reading, you're barely writing, or you went to college and you got a degree, but it's a degree that actually has very little value on the marketplace, yeah, you're going to be the person scared of competition. And it's going to be a problem if somebody is sitting out there in the wings waiting to eat your lunch. And so I'm here talking to the people, the 2%, to say, you know what, I'm ready to take this challenge on, because either way, like I tell my son and daughter, I say, either way, if you compete at a high level, you're going to win or you're going to learn. And you're going to be better for it. And if you take that mindset, you are absolutely planning your greatness. All right? I'm going to leave you with what I leave you with every time that I'm on here, and that is plan your greatness. You know why? Because no one else will. I'll see you all next time.